Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death, the show where no one knows what's going on, mystery abounds, and the players are frustrated. For once in one
Fair
of my
enough.
campaigns, my players are frustrated.
That's sarcasm, I assume, right?
No, my other players are destroying everything I send at
Oh,
them.
yes, yes.
I hate my other players. Okay.
I've
Anyway,
got some solutions for you there.
yeah.
The Monsters Manual is full of save versus death or die.
I think a flock of ettercaps.
Oh! Okay,
Yeah,
that's
those are the good old days.
keep the spoilers to a minimum. But I think that party deserves some better caps.
Oh my god. I don't know if I want to bring ettercaps on anyone right now. Maybe after a few more abuses, but
You
ettercaps,
got
no.
it. You got us to fear that noise.
Oh yeah. anyway, another. That's a story for another day.
Yes, yes. So, meanwhile, in Lockstein,
Hmm.
I'm kicking it at my cousin Lord Lockstein's manor house. The next day will be another day of twiddling my thumbs and playing with Georgie Boy while I wait for the guests from Denpolar to show up and bring news.
Okay. They show up after a little afternoon. I
Okay?
don't. They're in a nice big wheelhouse.
So they must have camped on the road or something like that. No?
Uh,
'Cause it's like a hard day's ride to Denpolar.
yeah. So either they camped on the road, they rode all night. God knows how they, but it's a long ride. And if they're in a
Yeah.
nice big wheelhouse, they only go more slowly. They seem to
Okay.
have a retinue of servants with them as well, and are. Give me a perception or charisma check, whichever you decide.
Perception is higher. So I'm probably kicking it in the yard. Is that in the front or in the back?
There is a front and back and side yard. You can kick it
Okay.
wherever you'd like.
I'll probably be kicking it in the front yard so that I'm there playing with Georgie Boy while they show up. 25.
Okay. Um, you notice that from what you've heard of your cousin, like you had dinner with him, you guys talked about these people, that they're a minor noble family. Like they're a very minor noble family, and for them to display this sort of wealth, it's clearly some sort of like, look at how important. Like this is clearly an overstatement of their wealth, and
Okay. They
they
probably can't
probably
afford to do this all the time, and
right, or they've like probably taken almost their entire household staff with them to make it look like they have this many servants. Like
mm-hmm.
they're trying their best to show off, is what you get from them.
Okay. Who shows up? So I'm like lounging in the lawn, watching them proceed. I assume, or do I have to get up and? I'm not going
Uh,
to get up and make a.
no, I mean
So
there's a
I'll be sort of off to the side of the lawn, hanging out.
yeah,
So,
they show
so,
up, they proceed up the
so
steps.
who are the relevant?
The relevant
Just give me
folks.
ages or whatever of
Um,
ages and hotnesses of all the women, preferably. No, so just ignore the servants, but a number wouldn't hurt.
there is Lady Purleen, Purleen,
I don't
and
need names at this point, or I don't think I get names at this point.
oh, you
But I
you
guess
were you were told who they were at over
okay,
dinner.
okay, okay.
Um,
Lady Purline.
yeah, it's the Lord and Lady Purleen. Although in this situation, the lady is head of house because it's through her bloodline that the name comes.
Okay,
Um, and they have D6 children. They have 5 children.
are they all there?
They are all here with them.
What is going on?
Uh, they have the 2 sons. The 2 oldest kids are male, Carthus and Felthus, and then the 3 younger daughters, Malthus, Brethus, and Selena.
Okay, what are ages approximately? Like, are they kids or are they?
Um, Carthus is 24. Felthris is 22. Malthus she is 19. Brethus is 15, and Selena is 10.
Okay.
So you said you're 20?
Yes.
All right, so Malthus and Brethus are within your acceptable dating pool, and they are 19 and 15 respectively.
Rolling for hotnesses.
We will roll for hotnesses.
Figured we'd wait till dinner, but I'll take it now. I
Since
am
that's
checking them
kind of
out.
how D&D
As,
goes these days, we have Malthus with a 12 hotness.
she's 19.
She's the 19. And Brethus and Selena. I'm sorry, I didn't say. Brethus has a was that 4? Has a 7 hotness.
Yeah.
She is the middle daughter,
And the little girl's
and
going to be a smoking hottie, isn't she?
we're rolling the dice. Oh wow, natural 16. I kid you not. Yeah, the
Knew it.
10-year-old is 16 hotness. At this point, it's cuteness because
Yeah. Yeah, like in a few years, that girl is
when
going to be
she
trouble.
grows up, she will be trouble.
Okay.
Brethus, the 15-year-old with 7 hotness, and Malthus, this 19-year-old with 12 hotness.
Okay. So I probably won't be drooling over any of these girls.
12 is not bad, dude.
I know. That's susceptible. That's like a 6.
Have you rolled for your own hotness?
I have not.
Do you want to roll for your own hotness?
I'm sort of afraid.
Isn't it a terrifying thing to do?
We're just doing 3d6, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, do you want to do this? Let's do
Should
it.
I do it in Dicing with Death, or should I? Or sorry, in this, or should I pull out the dice?
Pull out the dice for a roll. For a scary roll like this, I think you should pull out the rice or the dice.
The dice.
Bring out all the rice.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can get the camera angled so we've got evidence.
For those of you in chat who are being like, "Holy crap, she's only 15 years old," that is
totally,
wildly unacceptable in the modern age,
that is perfectly acceptable in half of the world. Are you kidding?
in the modern westernized world, that is unacceptable. In half the world, that's actually quite acceptable. And in olden days, that's like prime time. Like they would start marrying women off at 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah. We need Justin here to give us age of consent. But do we have any creepy Europeans in chat that can verify these things for me? I think there's even states in the U.S. where age of consent is like
age of consent in some states in the U.S.
16. Mexico is like 12. Get off your high horse, guys.
Is there 14 in the U.S.?
There's some weird states where there's like with your parents' consent, you can get married at those ages.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go. Do we have any creepers in chat? All right, let me get my camera set up. Let's see how this looks.
In the Bahamas, the age of consent for opposite-sex activities is 16, and the age of consent for same-sex activities is 18.
That is really weird. Can you see these dice or no? Like, see the numbers on them?
I can see a 6, a 4, and a 3.
So you can.
Okay.
All right.
A 6, a 4, and a what?
1.
And a 1. 11. That's average.
Matches my charisma.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just average. I guess I'm not ugly, which is an advantage. But
Let's see. Alabama is 16, Alaska is 16, Arizona is 18, Arkansas is 16, California is more complicated, but it looks like 18. Colorado is 17.
What's Washington? I think up here it's
Of course you want to know Washington.
I recall it being, I mean, it doesn't matter for me. I'm in a committed
Washington
relationship.
is 16.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Wait, it is also illegal to engage in sex acts with someone younger than 18 under 3 different sets of circumstances. Foster parents with their foster children. School teachers and school administration employees over their students. Up to the age of 21 for that. And the third set of circumstances requiring the following situations to occur in tandem. The older person is 60 months or more older than the 16 or 17-year-old. The person is in a significant relationship as defined by some law.
So once you're older than more than like 4 years, once you're like 20 or something like that, you can't.
if you're 60 months or older than a 16 or 17-year-old, and the person is in a significant relationship,
Oh,
and such older person abuses the I don't really understand.
that sounds confusing. We should probably
Oh no,
stop
it's
that.
illegal if you are 60 months or older. The person's in a significant relationship, and the older person abuses the relationship to have sexual contact. I don't understand. I don't
There was
look.
an
I'm not.
interesting clause in there though about teachers and students, which
Yeah,
I wasn't aware of, and if I wasn't in a relationship, may be relevant.
but
So
you are
apparently,
also at a university where you do not deal with people under the age of 18.
it said 21. You said 21. You
Oh
can't.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So
But I figured that was
can't be
for.
macking on any of my freshman students.
I figured that was actually for like high school and stuff. I don't know if that would apply to college level classes, but maybe it does. Maybe that's why it said
No,
17.
if I ever have any trouble, I'll have to brush up on these laws. There's trouble in my relationship where I'm trolling the university for freshman hotties.
All right, so D&D.
So D&D.
So D&D. Um
Okay, so
what were we doing?
I'm hanging out at the manor watching the procession of poultices. What was their name?
The
Polaris,
Purline family.
Porline,
Purline, Purleen.
Pourlines.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. So I am just gonna watch the procession.
Okay. Um they go into the house. Your cousin greets them out front, shakes all of their hands. They all give like the proper bows and curtsies and whatnot. Because while they are friends, there's still tradition to be maintained. But
Sure.
no one really cares, and everyone just goes about doing their thing.
Okay.
Um, there you go, done.
Okay. I'll give it a few minutes and then pack up my shit and head in.
Okay, you head in. You're inside now.
Okay. Are they around? Are they chatting?
Yeah, they are chatting with your cousin in one of these sitting rooms.
Okay. I guess I'll join them and yeah, go through the courtesy.
Yeah. Ah, this is my cousin Beryl
Mhm.
of House Rosewater. Rose something.
Well, Roswell.
Rosewell of House Rosewell, and he introduces you to Lady and Lord Purline, and he goes in that order because she is the head of family.
Okay.
Um, and then Carthus, Velthus, Mathis, Brethus, and Selena.
Yes. Yeah, I go through. I don't have an etiquette proficiency, but I assume I can at least say, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Lady Pauline,
Yeah,
my lord."
yeah,
And I totally proceed to forget all the names of the children, but I smile and shake hands anyways.
right. Apparently, they bring sad news that the the Lady Purline is now the head of family because her mother recently passed away. And her mother and father were the previous heads of family, but she finally passed away due to the wasting illness that she's been had for many years, and the family's saddened by her loss. But they're out here and
She,
visiting and whatnot.
she catch the mummy rot. That's another good thing you could throw at your roleplay
Mummy
cast.
rot.
Mummy rot.
Well, they need to find
Yeah.
a mummy first.
It, Solomon could dig one up.
I'm not saying that there's no mummies. There might be mummies in the very next episode, for all we know. He says as he looks up mummies.
Okay, so wasting illness, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Does the conversation naturally lead towards safety of the roads, or do they just talk about
I mean,
boring family drama?
it does eventually lead to road safety and that sort of thing.
Okay. Does anything interesting come up before then? And
They just mentioned, the roads were slightly treacherous. We saw your dragoons running about doing their business, blah blah blah. You know, where they seem nonchalant and unconcerned. They brought 20 guards with them,
Oh, really?
so like it was a full entourage with
That's impressive, isn't it? I mean, like,
as I said, they were trying to show off. Like they
Yeah.
probably they took their entire household guard with
even 20s. I mean, what is my family's guard?
for your actual house.
Yeah, I mean, not like whatever you call them.
You would have You would have a household guard of probably 80 soldiers.
Wow.
Um, they wouldn't all necessarily be guarding the house at any given point, but your father would have a group of bodyguards who are with him at all times.
Hmm.
Um, or like in the house, and then you'd have people who are actually guarding the house. Then you'd have soldiers who are on call who can be called up for anything like, oh, we're going into this district today. Here,
Hmm.
why don't you take, 5 men with you just to keep you safe and keep, the brigands at bay.
It's pretty impressive. Okay.
Yeah, you're fucking noble. You got your family has
Damn
power.
right. Okay. So I will. I guess I'll just sit and listen to any rumors I catch, but otherwise, this sounds like a pretty boring conversation.
It is a pretty boring conversation for you.
Yeah.
You miss Georgie boy.
I look out the window longingly at him.
He makes sad faces at you.
All right.
Um, Eventually this turns into like someone brings some sandwiches by and some tea, sweet tea, blah blah blah, and it turns into fairly boring but standard affair. Your cousin at some point gives you like a eye rolling look, like crap. I didn't realize this is what he too seems to be kind of bored by this, but the other family is enjoying the pleasantries
Okay.
of upper class
I
society.
I try and play wingman as best I can, as in when he looks like he's struggling to make small talk, try and swoop in and carry on the conversation,
Yeah.
make it as painless for the both of us as I can.
Okay. The evening passes.
Okay. Does anything interesting come up? Is it obvious at any point why they're even here? Like, what if they're
It's
seeking
a social
something?
visit.
Really? Okay, so it doesn't seem like they're here for any sort of request or.
No, give me a charisma check.
Nope.
No, social visit.
Okay.
Okay.
Any interesting, I don't know, interactions with any of the children?
Um,
Any of the girls flirt with me? Any of the boys try to impress me?
Actually, the eldest sister does
Mm-hmm.
seem very interested in you. Once your cousin mentions that you are a young bachelor, whereas your
Oh
cousin is
no.
married. The oldest girl kind of strikes up a conversation with you and peppers it with a little bit of flirting here and there.
Okay.
The middle girl seems kind of just disenchanted and disinterested with the entire social visit. Like she says the proper things, but mostly keeps her mouth shut and looks bored. At some point, like picks up a book and starts reading by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And the younger girl is quite flirting is not the right word because she's a little bit young at this point, but she's excited and having a good time and engages you in conversation for fun.
Okay.
Her oldest sister, gets a little bit fed up with her sometimes when she's like, and then we saw this and that when she's like trying to have an adult conversation.
Yeah. I'll humor the young girl and piss off
Okay.
the older girl by, I don't know, having conversations about ponies or whatever she likes to talk about.
All right. The older girl soon loses interest in conversation with you
Yeah.
when she
I
realizes why you're a
normally
bachelor.
realizes what?
Why you're a bachelor. It's not a matter of choice.
Excuse me. No, I am intentionally not trying. Normally, I'm down for some harmless flirting or a little bit of but
But
she just wants me for my money. She's a gold digger. I can see right through her.
okay. All right.
Are the boys at all interesting? Like, are any of them warriors, or are they just
The
boring
eldest
noblemen?
son is perhaps the most boring man you've ever met in your entire life. He is really only interested in um, finance and kind of like taking over the family, but he's just so monotonous and boring. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, he's always talking like he's writing some sort of thesis. He's like, it's, you can't stand to listen to him. He doesn't have
Okay.
any excitement in his voice. He just, well, you see, when the little people of a town are unhappy, it stands to the rulers, us, the nobility, to really see for them and care for their needs. Yeah, oh my god, shut up. His younger brother doesn't seem interested in politics or anything and is more of a warrior type. He talks with you about swordplay and what he's learned.
Okay.
You guys just talk about jousting for a while, and he talks about how he wants to enter in a tournament that's being held in a few months.
Have I heard of this tournament?
No, this is the first time you're hearing of it.
Okay. Interesting. Where is it is? Where is it?
It is being held in um, in Fetter's Hot Springs.
Ooh, that sounds sexy.
Yeah,
That's where those really awkward people we're talking about. Or is that where they came from? I feel like I've heard that the hot springs mentioned. Like,
yes.
remember that girl and the two guys, and they were guessing her name.
Yes.
Is that where they just come from, or is that where they were going? Maybe I don't even remember.
It's one of the two. You don't remember, but apparently the local lord's daughter was betrothed and engaged now, and for during their wedding, there's going to be a small tournament. There's going to be a joust, a melee, an archery competition, and all that fun stuff. With open lists, yeah.
I might have to crush this poor boy in that tournament.
You two banter about it for a while.
All right. Anything else proceed over the course of the night, or is it relatively mundane?
Mundane. Not interesting.
Kind of regretting not chasing brigands. All right.
Totally.
Okay. So I go to bed when the night winds down. Okay.
All right. Next morning rolls around.
Okay. I will wake up and saddle my horse. And
okay.
Get ready to go.
All right. Everyone says their goodbyes properly. Your cousin's wife finally makes an appearance. She has been out of town. She has come back for the meeting with the Purlines. She was in Roost doing something there.
Okay.
She took part of the household guard with her, blah, blah, blah. She's back. She greets you. Sad to see. Blah. Like, pleasantries are exchanged all around as you prepare to leave.
Okay. Alrighty. Are the peeps heading back to Denpolar?
Oh, no. They're here for 4 days.
Ooh, my poor cousin. All right. I'm going to get out of Dodge. I tell him I'll head east to check up with his guards.
Okay.
But I'll be departing. I'll let him know if anything interesting transpires.
All right.
Okay.
And then you head to Denpooler?
On the road that general direction, yeah.
All right. It is a boring journey to Denpooler. There's nothing on the road. You encounter one set of travelers, yeah?
Okay. I would ask the travelers if they've heard of anything of the brigands, or any trouble on the road.
The one set of travelers say, "Oh, well, there was some brigand trouble on the road, but some of the riders from Lockstein came through and have been hunting them down."
Okay. Lockstein had mentioned 10 miles. Was it 10 miles from Denpolar or 10 miles from
Lockstein?
So I wouldn't even. I mean, like if I was looking for brigands, that would have been near Lockstein, not Denpolar, right?
Yeah. Well, they were spotted near Lockstein, but your cousin had said that no one in Lockstein had known anything about them, and it seems that they may have come from the east and were just like making their way out this way. That was the assumption they were working under.
Okay, whatever. I'll ride all the way to Denpolar.
All right, you get to Denpolar. There.
Evening time, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, late in the evening, actually. Okay. Sun has already set when you arrive.
Okay, I'll find an inn.
Okay.
And how much does that cost?
The Feathered Goblet is 1 gold a night.
Some schwanky inns. All right. And I will ask if Lockstein's riders have been in or around lately.
You asked this of the innkeeper?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
If he doesn't answer, I'll find someone else, but that's the first I ask.
The riders came through. They asked some questions of the local guard, of the local constables, and after gathering some information, they rode north.
Okay. I thank him.
Is it the talk of the town currently?
What's that?
It is currently the talk of the town
Okay.
because Denpolar is not a very big place, so this is like the important things that are happening.
What time is it? Is it too late to harass the guards, or is it like after
It,
business hours, or is it? Are they still going to be open, hanging around?
I mean, the constable office is open 24 hours a day,
Okay.
but it is like nighttime, so it's just like nightly patrols that are doing their shit. All the real officers have gone to sleep.
Okay. I'll see if I can find one. I'll go to the constable's office.
Okay, this is a
There's got to be
smaller
a neighbor.
town, so
Mm-hmm.
there's not that many people employed here, but you hit them up. There's a person.
I assume he's on duty, so he probably doesn't care.
Yeah, it's the
No,
night
happy to have a
watchman.
conversation.
He's got his boots kicked up on a table, and he's just whittling away at something.
Excuse me, constable. Um,
Oh, he kind of stands to attention, my lord.
oh, at ease. My name's Beryl Rosewell. I was curious if you had spoken or heard of the riders from Lockstein. I was trying to catch up with my cousin's routine.
Yes, they headed north yesterday.
Do you know where? I presumably to chase down these brigands. No.
I believe they had some hounds with them and were following a scent or following tracks of sorts. They did not give us their location or their destination.
So you guys don't know where the brigands make their lair?
No, sir.
Well, thank you for your time.
He kind of like, stands up until you leave, and then he settles back down to his chair. He was whittling a whistle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll rest up and then first thing in the morning head north out at Denpolar.
All right, you head north. Give me a perception check.
Damn it, Georgie boy. You're 3 months behind. Why can't you track yet? Plus 13? I think it's 13. Yeah.
The roll is 28.
28.
Holy crap. Yeah, you actually find the tracks of the riders pretty easily. There's not much going on here, but there's definitely a set of deep hoof prints in the ground.
Okay.
And you follow them.
So I'll try and follow them as best I can. Georgie boy probably smells the dogs, but I doubt he's well enough trained to really respond to my liking.
Yeah, he does not track them for you.
Yeah.
Um,
But I use this opportunity to try and demonstrate to him what I'd like him to be doing.
Okay, you
know what I mean?
do your best.
It's a teaching opportunity.
Okay. And after a few hours, you see in the distance a set of riders coming towards you.
Do they bear colors or flags of any kind?
They have a single flag flying with the house sigil of Lockstein on it.
All right. So I will ride towards them at a
You ride up to them and meet them.
pace
It's definitely his riders. They are...
How many? You said 2?
No. A couple. You could only see in the distance. There were a couple, but it's the whole set of riders. 20 of them.
Okay.
2 of them are badly wounded and are being pulled on carts behind the horses, or like makeshift. What do you call it? Just a sleds. Care some on. What do you fucking call a flat thing that you put a person on?
I know what you're talking. Damn it! Why? It's on the tip of my tongue too. You bastard.
What is this called?
A stretcher. There's another.
But there's a term for just something that you throw a person on that you drag behind.
Gurney.
Something like that. Makeshift gurney or stretcher.
You have to make them all the time in D&D.
Yeah.
Out of trees and shit to carry your dead bodies or your unconscious allies.
Yeah, they've got their guys on some of those.
Okay.
What the hell are those called?
Not a gurney, sleigh, or rib, stretcher.
Litter.
Litter?
A litter would do it.
All right. So, do they recognize me, or do I have to?
They recognize your house sigil on your clothing and on all your trappings, and they stop and say, "Oh,
Goodness, what happened to you guys?"
We found the brigands. They put up a good fight. You notice that some of their lances have blood on them.
Did you already put them down?
They've been put down. They will not be bothering anyone anytime soon.
Well, it seems like I missed the fun. I'm I'm Beryl Rosewell. I said, Lord Lockstein told me I could find you guys out here, but seems like I missed the action. I guess we best be getting back to town to get these men looked at.
Hmm. There were about a dozen of them. They were no match for our war horses. Some of them, though, got off a couple of lucky bow shots before we could close with them. And he looks back at the wounded soldiers and says, we suffered some wounds, but they'll all live.
Okay.
Okay.
Well then, I guess I'll ride with him back to Denpolar.
Okay. You get back to Den Polar later that day. It is slightly afternoon by the time you all get back.
Okay. Are they staying in the town?
They're just resting one night, and then they're going to head all the way back to Lockstein with the wounded soldiers.
Okay. Well then, I guess I'll stay another night as well. I'll go back and buy another night at that inn.
Okay. Another
I
gold.
assume they're staying somewhere less fancy.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess I will. It's only afternoon. What do I know? What in the Lancers are hanging out at? Is there like a tavern there or something?
Yes. They are staying at an inn.
I'll go there and buy them a round of drinks and at least get the rundown of who these brigands were. And
Give me another perception check.
Yeah. Oh, critical pass.
Critical
33.
pass. So while you're on your way to the Mauled Goblin, which is where they're staying, you notice a wagon just kind of like being ridden through town that has the logo of the lion and hydra on it, or the sigil.
Interesting.
Yeah. You see it on some of the crates in the back of the wagon as it's being driven through town.
Who's driving it?
Some random human.
I actually will not go to the inn, and I will follow it.
Okay.
See where it goes. I mean, it's late afternoon, or it's afternoon, so they've got to be staying here tonight, no?
They go travel up to an inn, and they start unloading some of the boxes in the back and some of the casks in back. But they unload less than a third of the cargo. And at this point, you notice that while it's just one person driving the cart, he does have a sword at his belt underneath his cloak.
That seems more likely for one person to have a sword than... Anyways. Noted. Does it seem like they're picking specific boxes to unload, or or did they get lazy and stop halfway through?
No, it looked like they pulled the last 6 boxes off of a cart. There were like a few boxes and a couple of casks of possibly ale or wine or something that they pulled out. There was a large tarp over everything else in the back so that the boxes can't be seen.
Okay.
And after that, they head to another building.
Okay.
When they get there, the wagon is pulled all the way inside the building. It's like a large barn.
Okay.
And the doors.
So they unloaded the boxes into the same building.
No. So they unload some boxes into like an inn.
Okay.
And then they move on to another like a barn down the block and just drive the whole wagon inside the barn.
Okay. I just want to peek into the inn that they unloaded and see if I can see what if the innkeeper's pulling anything interesting out of the boxes or shoving them in the back room.
Yeah, you peer at the people who are unloading them. It looks like some of the boxes are crowbarred open, and the people look inside, and then give me a perception check.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd like to catch a glimpse of what's inside, but I don't know if I will. Oh man, I'm on top of it.
Oh man, you've got this. It looks like fine elven bread or something. It's definitely some sort of foodstuffs that you're surprised by.
My character wouldn't know this, but out of character, that's what is that? There's that elven bread that
elven way bread.
elven whey bread that gives you it's like a loaf that gives you like a week's worth of food or something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but my character is just like boring.
Yeah, and it looks like the wine casks are rolled directly into the cellar, and one of the crates is taken actually into the inn, and the other two crates are taken into the cellar as well.
Okay, I'll go take a peek at the barn then.
All right. You take a peek at the barn, and give me another perception check. Let's
This
do it.
light
Let's see if
cannot
you can
see.
keep. Oh
Oh,
my god!
I'm just on top of it.
Oh my god! Roll 20. Why do you conspire against me so?
my.
So you're taking a peek at the barn, and as you are, you notice that there's a couple of guys like hanging outside, who you normally wouldn't give it a second glance to, but as you're kind of like watching the barn, one of them turns and his cloak opens up, and you see at his side are a hand axe, a dagger, and a longsword. And some other guy, kind of on the other side of the barn, is similarly armed as well. And you notice that they each have chainmail on underneath their clothing. It looks like they are. You get the impression that they are guards for the barn that are trying to not look like they are guarding the barn.
Okay. Transporting something interesting. You said the bread looked elven to me.
Yes, there were
What about
elven writing on the on some of their like the
Or
so you had like
writing
a box, and then
Mhm.
opened the box. There's like a sheet of paper on top or cloth, and the cloth had some elven writing on it. And you opened it up, and then there was some bread wrapped in large leaves.
Okay. Right. I was just. I mean, yeah. It just popped in my head that I'm not sure how I would have known bread was elven bread, but I guess that makes sense. Well, I'm not going to harass these guards. I don't need a hand axe to my face.
Okay.
Intriguing. I'll note the location of the inn and the barn and head off to the inn with the Lancers that I was originally heading to.
Okay. They are there hanging out. The captain of the Lancers who you spoke to earlier
Mm-hmm.
is notably not drinking, while the others are.
Okay. I will buy a round of drinks for the men and engage in small
Okay.
talk.
There are 20 men. 2 of them are injured. 1 of them is not drinking. 17 men at 4 copper a drink.
So let's just 17 divided by 2. Let's just say that's 8 silver.
6
8.5
silver, 8 copper.
6 silver, 8 copper.
17
Let's just
times
make
4.
it an even 7 silver and say that I drank a drink or 2 as well.
Okay. All right. So you buy a round for them. They are appreciative, and
I'll just chat and see if they have anything else to add.
they regale you with war stories of how they rode down the filthy brigands.
Are you rubbing in my face the quest that I passed up on to have dinner with his snobby nobles?
It sounded like quite the chase. You know, the brigands had made some camp pretty far to the north of town, but they have their hounds with them. The hounds tracked them there, and once they got there, the brigands were out in their camp, kind of just doing the normal thing, and they just charged in. Nice full line, overran some of the people. A couple of shots got off, wounded some soldiers, but between the horses and the lances, after the first pass, there were only 2 people left. They questioned them. One of them tried to flee. He was killed. The other one, after questioning, they just murdered. Well, murder's the wrong way. It put an end to his reign as bandit leader.
Are there dogs in the tavern now?
The dogs are outside in the kennels, or tied up. They're not in the tavern itself, but they're around the tavern. They're with the horses.
Okay. I was wondering if Georgie Boy had any friends to play with, or is he the only noble dog that gets brought inside?
When you bring a dog in, no one questions it, but other people aren't supposed to bring in. I mean, even the innkeeper, he doesn't stop you, but he gives you a dog in my establishment. Okay.
He's well behaved though, and
yeah,
generally well. I mean, these days probably not. We've been on the road, but usually he's nice and clean and sparkly. Nice purebred bloodhound. Looks like a show dog.
Yeah, you normally have servants to bathe him and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Did the brigands have any, when they were questioned, did they reveal any interesting allegiances, or were they just unaligned brigands?
Just old, disenchanted soldiers who had
Hmm.
abandoned their oaths, deserters. Couple of poor people who didn't have anything better to do in their life other than murder and rape and steal. Your
The
local
usual.
low, your general low lives and scoundrels, dishonorable folk.
All right, fair enough. So I will hang around here for a little while. I will not be getting drunk or whatever, too drunk. I may have some business to attend to tonight, but I'll have a drink or two and chat.
Okay.
Does anything interesting else come up, or is that the end of their story?
That's the end of their story. I mean, is there anything particular you'd like to know from them?
No, no, that was about it.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Maybe I
All
need
right,
new dice.
what's going on?
I was rolling 3d6s just for as if I were rolling for something, and the rolls are really, really low. My dice are angry with me today. There we go. Okay, so next day comes.
Hold on. No, no, no.
No, oh, I'm
I
sorry.
was I was planning on poking around the barn and stuff that night
Okay,
on the
you
way back.
eventually
Yeah.
you eventually finish up with the soldiers and head back to your place, but you swing by the barn first.
Yes, that was my plan.
Okay.
Are there
Uh,
other guards on duty?
it is much later. There are no more guards on duty. There's no one standing out in front of it, but you do notice lights on inside.
Are
Um,
there windows, or
there are no windows on this barn.
so I see like
There's no
lights?
windows on the ground floor. There's windows on the
Okay.
second floor to allow some airflow.
Okay, I'll walk up and see if I can hear anything.
Give me a perception check.
We really keep playing these thievy campaigns, the both of us, and oh my god,
Did you roll
30.
another 30?
I did two in a row.
Okay, you hear the sounds of conversation from within, and you can even make out some of the things that they're saying.
I mean, it's through a door. You don't have to recite the whole conversation. Maybe keywords or
Uh,
subjects.
there is a discussion about how they're supposed to be transporting their goods to the next town. Um, there seems to be some confusion or some perhaps worry over being stopped and searched.
Interesting. I may have to be the one that stops and searches them.
Yes.
All right. I think I'll head back to my room and get some sleep.
Okay. You head back to your room.
Okay. And I'll wake up as early as is comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
As in trying to wake up early, but I don't want to like.
All right. You mean you wake up with the sun,
Yeah,
as that does everyone these days?
and I'll get saddled up and ready to go.
Where do you head?
I will head west. I was assuming that cart would be heading towards Lockstein, but now I'm having second thoughts. Well, we'll see. I'll hop on my horse and ride past the barn on my way out of town.
Okay.
Have they left yet, or are they preparing the cart for departure?
The barn is closed. You can't really
Mm-hmm.
tell if they've left or if they haven't left. You do notice a couple of guys stand around having a conversation outside that they look familiar. It's possible that they're the guards from before.
All right. Well, I'll head out the western gate towards Lockstein.
Okay. You head out.
Do I see the cart on the path in front of me down the road?
No, you definitely ride much faster than a cart would drive. And
I'm not. I'm not. Hold on. I'm not actually traveling yet.
okay. No, so
I
you
meant
get
to
out.
pop out of town and see if I could see it, and then I'll wait there. So I will.
No,
Yeah.
there is a small cart that just has like hay on it and a couple of kids riding in the back, being pulled probably by their dad, by some
Okay.
poor ox.
So I will head a little bit outside of town
Hmm.
and hang out.
Okay. How long do you wait?
Let's say an hour.
Okay. 25 minutes later, you notice that same cart uh,
Mm-hmm.
being pulled and kind of going along the road. In addition to the driver, there are also two men stationed on the cart, each of them with a pole arm.
Okay. I will stop and make it look like I'm doing something. So, like, fuss with my horse's shoe, or I don't know. If I'll fuss with the saddlebags or the
All right.
and the saddle, like make it look like I'm adjusting the, like,
Okay. So you
maybe
start playing
buttering
with your
some curses
horse
on my
as
breath,
they.
make it look like I'm having some trouble.
Yeah, they just start riding. They're getting pretty close to you at this point. Tell me, do you stop them or what do you do?
I was going to let them pass,
They,
but I
they
want to
pass
make
you.
it look like I had a reasonable excuse to be stopped.
Yeah. I mean, I assume at some point you glance at them, and the guy that's driving the cart kind of gives you a cursory nod, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
normal interaction. They pass and go down the road.
Is their sigil obvious, or are they have the cart covered?
This time it's after they took out the barrels and stuff in the back. The tarp that's on top now drapes down all the way to the. You can't see the boxes. The tarp covers everything,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
but you're certain it's the same driver.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give him a few minutes and then get back on my horse.
All right. What do you do now?
I can't go harassing them. I don't want a reputation for that guy that winds up stopping carts and stabbing the drivers. Because I've already sort of done that once. Or I think I'm just going to ride to Lockstein past them.
Okay.
So, yeah, hop on the road, ride past them, not stay.
You get to Lockstein that evening.
Okay. I assume I'm quite a bit ahead of them, so I will deal with my horse, pay for
Mm-hmm.
my. Oh no, I'll go to my cousin's and deal with my horse.
Ah, so good to see you. I decided that the East is not for you after all.
Eh, no, I bumped into your riders. They had already dealt with the brigands. Seemed like I missed the chase.
Hmm. Well, I hope you bring good news. How fare my men? How'd the hunt go with the brigands?
Well, they captured all the brigands. A few of your men were injured, but they'll all be returning. They're probably just taking a little extra time to patch things up. I assume you'll see them within a few days.
Excellent. And the brigands are all accounted for. Did you say they have prisoners?
No prisoners. They may have more information for you. As I said, I
Oh,
missed the fight.
well, if they were truly just random brigands on the road, no prisoners is probably better. We do not need our jails overflowing with the trash of the city.
Exactly. A prudent call, it seems.
Yes, excellent.
Okay. So
You,
I
you are again offered unlimited hospitality. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So I will quickly deal with my horse and head to the eastern gate to town to watch the cart roll in.
Okay, I did. Did I say that this was a gated? Lockstein has a wall around it. I don't remember what I said.
That's what I was operating under the impression of, but I don't know if that was just my imagination or if it
Yeah, I
was.
don't remember what I said. Can anyone in chat verify that this town does or does not have a gate around it? Anyone? Well,
Oh, there's a little delay.
45-second delay on chat these days is what it is. Um, well, either way, whether there's a gate or not, it does have a wall. They say.
Okay.
Lockstein is a kibbutz with a gate around it. Looks big enough. I think you said it has a wall. It has a gate. Yeah, okay, cool. No, yes, it has walls. Sweet.
No.
It has a wall. There is a gate that is wide open.
Is there a guard manning the gate or no?
Oh, yes, there are a couple of guards manning the gate. Lockstein
So
is.
I'll loiter within eyesight of the guards. Oh, sorry, so that I can monitor the guards, but I don't want to draw attention to myself if I can avoid it.
Okay. How long do you loiter?
Indefinitely, yeah.
Okay.
If it looks like the guard is taking notice of me, I may change my plans. But
After an hour passes, the guards have at some point taken notice of you, but not really cared.
okay.
You've been standing around for a while, and there's only so many things you can do. You play with Georgie Boy, you walk around, you kind of hide in the shadows, but at some point, you notice the guard looking at you,
Mm-hmm.
and but he looks at you and then kind of just goes back to his duty. It is nightfall at this point, and the guards have busted out the torches and lanterns.
What is the street like? Like, is there an intersection nearby, or is the road head straight into town?
The road head. There's a pathway that goes around the edge of the wall. So there's
Okay.
a 30-foot buffer between the wall and the closest buildings.
I think I will try and walk far enough away that perhaps the guards can't see me and I can't see them, but I could see something as large as, say, a cart. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So walk down the streets out of obvious. I mean, they may still be able to tell that there's a figure there wandering around, but
Okay. You proceed away.
yeah.
Um,
And I'll wait until the cart shows up.
okay. Let me look at our map.
I hope it does show up. Now that I'm thinking about it, they may have
Yeah.
rested on the road.
A few hours pass,
Mm-hmm.
and it is well after nightfall at this point, and no cart has showed up. The city gates have closed,
Really
and
close.
the number of guards has been reduced from 6 to 2.
Okay. Well, they'll open gates though if you show up after hours. No, you just have to talk to them.
As long as they think that you're a decent, honest folk.
Yeah. Well, shit. I think I will hang around for a little while longer.
Okay, a few more hours
'Cause,
pass. It is now like 2 or 3 in the morning.
all right, I'll go back to bed.
Okay. You retire to your cousin's manor. There's a guard on duty. He lets you in the house. No big deal. You go to sleep.
Yep.
You wake with dawn again. This time
Mm-hmm.
groggy because for the first time in a very long time you have not had a full night's sleep,
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
and
Well,
there's no caffeine in this part of the world.
I will head back to the town gate.
Okay. You get back to the town gate.
Is there a bar with a window looking out into the street?
No, not near the town gate.
The town gates are wide open during the day, correct?
Yep, wide open.
I'm going to walk outside of town.
Okay.
Along the road, find a hill overlooking the road, and hang out there.
Okay.
Sit to play with Georgie Boy, work on his training,
You hang out for
kill time.
2.5 hours before. I mean, you see many travelers come in, and after 2.5 hours, you see a cart with a tarp over it, a rider, and 2 guards bearing pole arms.
Alrighty.
Arriving towards town.
Yeah.
And on that note, we shall take our second break. Dun dun dun. Dun
So
dun
much
dun.
intrigue.